One of our top stories this morning, 3 Missoula leaders addressed the City Club at the annual State of the City gathering at the Doubletree Edgewater yesterday with the topic Missoula, a confluence of opportunity. They were County Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer, UM President Seth Bodner, and Mayor John Engen. Bodner addressed the changes that are occurring on campus due to enrollment and budget issues.
I'm really proud of what our campus community is working through right now. Now, as we said at the outset, excellence requires choices, things on which you will focus, as well as sometimes areas that you will no longer sustain. And we as a university are going through that process right now.
Mayor John Engen said now that the water company is in the city's hands, it's time to turn the spotlight on housing in Missoula.
We're addressing housing. It is a challenge, as many of you know. But the fact of the matter is that if we don't work together to address housing issues in our community, people are left out. And I don't want to be a mayor of a community where people are left out, because you tell me over and over again, you don't want to live in a community where people are left out.
Engen also touched on his own personal issues over the past few years.
And one day you wake up and you're a 51-year-old man and you're having a crisis in your life, and you're still surrounded by people who care enough to help you, to lift you on their shoulders, carry you where you need to go so that you can keep going, right? It's a community that doesn't give up on people.
Due to technical difficulties, Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer's comments were not included in the video on our website. However, the full address will be played back this Sunday on Missoula Community Access Television. A Missoula woman has been sentenced to serve 10 years with the State Department of Corrections, with half of her time suspended for a fatal vehicle collision with a pedestrian last year. The Missoulian reports that Emily Levins was sentenced yesterday for the crash that killed Benno Big Bag Jr. in February of 2017. A Department of Corrections sentence is different than a prison sentence. It could mean anything from immediate release on community supervision to being sent to prison. Prosecutors in January dropped a count of vehicular homicide while under the influence against Levins. She later pleaded guilty to failing to stop at the scene where a person was killed and misdemeanors for driving under the influence, driving with a suspended license, and failure to carry insurance. Rush hour traffic was a snarled mess on Highway 93 South yesterday due to a series of accidents that occurred on the northbound lanes just outside Lolo. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Nick Navarro was the chief investigator at the scene and said the first crash occurred right at 5 p.m.
It started with a single vehicle crash that was northbound. A truck impacted the guardrail and rolled over, blocking both northbound lanes. We had a secondary crash occur when a separate northbound vehicle that was traveling behind the first one swerved to miss the crash and ended up losing control of that vehicle and hitting a southbound vehicle.
Navarro described the reasons why traffic was backed up into Missoula for at least 2 hours.
That one was just a sideswipe type crash, no injuries. They were able to move that one off the road, but the initial crash was a rollover that caused blockage to the northbound lanes, which is what caused most of the delay, because we had to try and get northbound traffic and southbound traffic moving through the crash scene, but there was debris everywhere.
Navarro said the first driver had to be transported to St. Patrick Hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Traffic flow was restored at about 7 p.m. Missoula police are accusing a recent suspect of distributing methamphetamine in Missoula. Here's Police Public Information Officer and spokesman Travis Welsh.
John Cave was arrested early Sunday morning about 2:13 a.m. in the 1200 block of West Broadway. He had an outstanding warrant and additionally charged with felony criminal possession of dangerous drugs when the officers learned that he had methamphetamine in his possession.
Cave is 61. This isn't his first brush with the law. Welsh explains how the distribution charge came about.
After Mr. Cave had been arrested for his outstanding warrant, he was found to be in possession of multiple empty, what were described as distribution baggies in his pockets. He also had a baggie of a white crystalline substance that later turned out to be methamphetamine, as well as a couple of loose tablets.
Both the possession and distribution charges were felonies. Another Travis Welsh story. A concerned Missoulian called 911 after watching a neighboring couple fight outside about 6 p.m. Sunday night. Once again, Welsh explains.
Officers responded responded to the report of a disturbance in the 900 block of Longstaff. According to dispatcher, somebody there was reporting that a female was claiming her boyfriend may have been trying to kill her. When the officers arrived, they made contact with the female who was standing with a couple of neighbors out front. She explained that she had been fighting with her boyfriend, who was identified as 36-year-old Michael Dawkins.
When police arrived, the female claimed that she had been restrained against her will and that weapons had been used during the incident.
The female had identified that something akin to an axe may have been used. However, there was also a knife that was involved. The officers made contact with Mr. Dawkins and subsequently arrested him for strangulation of a partner or family member, as well as assault with a weapon and unlawful restraint.
According to police records, Dawkins has been charged with a partner or family member assault before. A state judge says an advanced practice registered nurse and a certified nurse midwife can now provide abortions in Montana while they challenge state law as long as they have the proper training. The preliminary injunction comes in the case of two nurses who are challenging the constitutionality of the law that allows only physicians and physician assistants to perform abortions. The Center for Reproductive Rights and the ACLU of Montana filed the lawsuit in January on behalf of Whitefish nurse Helen Weems and an unidentified midwife. District Judge Mike Menahan issued the injunction last week, noting it applies only to Weems and the midwife. Menahan said the Montana Board of Nursing would have to set licensing requirements. Weems is still undergoing training to be able to perform abortions. A Colorado company with 3 coal mines in Montana and 1 in Wyoming says in a statement shareholders that it may consider bankruptcy. Englewood-based Westmoreland Coal is facing declining demand and more than $1 billion in debt. The company says in its recently released annual report it may seek Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection from creditors and a reorganization of the company. Yellowstone Public Radio reports Westmoreland executive Jesse Noel said Thursday that the company has debt to restructure and he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen. The company has 14 mines and a power plant in the U.S. and Canada. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station. Look for a mix of sun and clouds today with high temperatures in the upper 50s. Showers will arrive late this afternoon and rain likely tonight. Overnight low temperatures will be in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13 on NBC Montana.